Are we all here now?
Go on, go for it.
Isn't this wonderful? The sun's shining. And of course the last few days it's been piddling down with rain. And the worry for myself is when you put the likes of this curtain up, you're going to stick to wet stone. So you've had to think about all various ways that I was going to we can stick up there, short of knocking nails into the stone, which I don't think Jess would like that. However, anyway, good morning everyone. A big welcome to Flaybrick Cemetery. As you picked up, my name is Peter Bolt from Conservation Areas Wirral, also known as CORE. Over the last 3 years, nearly 3 years, CORE have partnered Wirral Council to put in place a rolling programme of blue plaques, and that's supported by the Wirral Heritage Fund. Wirral has quite a lot of rich heritage, as you know, with people both well known and not so well known. Recently plaques have been installed including James Gillespie Graham, a Scottish architect, for the iconic Hamilton Square, and that is installed opposite Hamilton Square station. Anne Davison, the first lady to sail single-handed across to the Atlantic in a small boat, and she lived at Merebrook House near Raby. And I must mention Alan Rouse from Wallasey, the first climber to summit K2, which is the second highest mountain in the world. And that's it's installed at Brett Park in Wallasey. Well, there's a few. Altogether, and including those in the pipeline, there'll probably be about 13 blue plaques. And we're hoping to do a blue plaque heritage trail that people can actually follow. And I think you'd find it quite interesting when it's finished. Today, however, we are commemorating the architects of this beautiful chapel. I won't say it was beautiful. In my eyes, it's still beautiful. And they had offices in Liverpool, specialised in Gothic-style structures all over the country, including gates at Anfield Cemetery, and I must mention Stappen Hill Anglican Chapel in the cemetery in Burton-on-Trent. And anybody interested in this type of architecture, that chapel is still working, and if you go down there you will notice the similarities with this structure. Now they entered a design competition for Flaybrick chapels, which they won, and they were involved also with a number of buildings around this site, including the Register's Office and the Sexton's Lodge. Well, that's all from me at the moment, and I'm going to call upon Terry Briscoe, a Flaybrick volunteer, commonly known as the Bard of Birkenhead, and who's written a poem all about Lucy and Littler, which he would like to share with you. Terry.
Thank you, Frederick. In the good old Victorian times, to be an architect, your design had to be very good. The Victorians, they did expect. So when Mrs. Lucy Ann Littler came along, Flaybrick Cemetery would be fine, because Lucy Ann Littler, once based at Hamilton Square, would create an amazing design. These Victorians, Lucy Ann Littler, they designed the chapel so well. Their design was better than the rest, as today we still can't tell. So as we have gathered here for the unveiling of this plaque, the Victorians, they did expect. Flaybrick chapels are a wonderful design by Lucy Ann Littler, the best architect.
Thank you, that was great. Right, I would now like to invite Councillor Geoffrey Watt, Mayor of Wirral, to enlighten us a little bit more about Lucy Ann Littler and also carry out the actual unveiling. Mr. Mayor.
Well, thank you to the Friends of Flaybrick and to Conservation Areas Wirral for inviting me and the Mayoress to the Memorial Gardens for this ceremony today. Thank you for providing me also with the historical notes pertinent to the occasion. Lucy and Littler was a Liverpool-based partnership of architects, also trading as Lucy and Littler in Liverpool. The company was active in the mid-19th century and had been founded by the architect Charles Littler. Charles Lucy was born in Lancashire in 1832, and while still a boy he moved with his widowed mother and elder sister to Birkenhead, where they lived in Watson Street. In 1855 he married his wife Rosa and subsequently moved to Holt Hill in Birkenhead, where they lived with their 2 children. Charles Littler, who was born in Northamptonshire, also lived in Holt Hill with his wife Lydia, who he had married in 1855, and their 3 children. Charles Littler was the first to die. He was aged just 36 when he passed away in 1868. At that time he was living in Liversidge Road, Birkenhead, with his family. Charles Lucy died in January 1871, aged just 38, and was living with his family in Clifton Road, Birkenhead at that time. And I understand they are both buried nearby in these gardens. As well as the chapels and other buildings here at Flaybrick, the company was responsible for the design of the buildings in Wirral Cemetery and many other buildings of note, including the Alliance Bank building in Derby Square, Liverpool. In memory of both men who designed the beautiful buildings here at Flaybrick Memorial Gardens in the Gothic Revival style, a white marble plaque was commissioned and erected within the Church of England chapel. Included within the inscription is the sentence from the prayer book, "In the midst of life, we are in death." Sadly, the memorial was badly damaged as a result of vandalism, and when the site was being restored during 2015 to 2017, just a few small pieces were recovered, and they are on display in the chapel. So, now, as Mayor of Wirral, I have the honour of unveiling this blue plaque here in Flaybrick, erected to celebrate the lives of the architects Charles Lucy, 1832 to 1871, and Charles Littler, 1832 to 1868. And it reads, Wirral Council, Charles Lucy, 1832 to 1871, and Charles Littler, 1832 to 1868, architects of the chapels, conservation area of Wirral. Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Quite.
May I have a photograph with you on?